Welcome back to the Habit Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell. Today, we got a very special guest on the show. We got Holly Melby. She's from Champaign, Illinois. She's one of our VIP practitioners. Holly, I want to welcome you on the show today.
Hey, thanks. Happy to be here with you.
Yeah. So, for the listeners, maybe tuning in, um, a lot of times we have, a chiropractor or, maybe a specific health professional. Um, can you tell everybody a little bit about you, your backstory, and kind of like how you found out about the VIP weight loss system so that it kind of gives context to what we're going to talk about today?
Yeah. So, our situation's a little bit unique in that I am not a chiropractor, a doctor, a healthcare practitioner exactly, except
Yeah.
that my husband and I have been in this healthcare space for, over 2 decades now. So, just working in the healthcare industry alongside him, building up his business, getting to work directly with his patients, we both definitely saw a need for another, we're very passionate about natural health and healing and wellness in general. And so this is a piece that was missing. I can talk about the power of chiropractic all day long, and I absolutely believe in it. And also, without this piece, this nutrition piece, to help support natural health and wellness, you're kind of still only treating symptoms, right? So
Right.
you can get adjusted and feel better, maybe alleviate some pain, but nutrition is necessary for total health and movement and all of those things, right? So this was a piece that we saw missing in a lot of his patients' lives. And so it's an area that we were willing to step into. And kind of easy for us to do that because it's a program that I went through myself. So having a relationship with the founders, with Nick and Kim Naniga, and totally trusting the program that they built, totally trusting our beliefs aligned with theirs as far as natural health. And so it was an easy program to step into for me because I
Right.
trusted them. I trusted her as a dietitian and knew that it was going to be something that was going to support me personally as a client. And
Yeah.
it did. And now I get the honor of getting to help other people in this way too.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love the thing that you talk about where, hey, we saw the need in, your guys's chiropractic clinic and, you brought this in there as a way to kind of bridge that gap. And so, and then the cool thing is obviously you did the program, you were a client and kind of a case study of it yourself. So you knew it worked. Um, for those, like you're a mom, first and foremost. So I think what's really cool is how you've been able to balance, being a mom of three kids, also helping at the chiropractic clinic and then also being able to do the VIP weight loss system and have that as a business. Can you share a little bit about, you know, it's like you're juggling kind of three things, right? And you have
Yeah.
to show up in each of these areas. But I think that's really important and really cool to know that you're able to almost like be part of each one of those and still juggle and maintain it, but also grow it. Can you talk a little bit about being a mom, doing VIP, and then also being a supportive, wife and also helping your husband in the chiropractic clinic?
For sure. And what's amazing about it is that everything, like kind of like what you said, everything lends itself to the other. So chiropractic supports VIP, VIP supports chiropractic, VIP is helping my family to be healthier. They all kind of, it all kind of works together. Every piece, honestly, of our business supports the other. So, because we also offer red light and soft wave and things like that. Every single thing is a piece that works really well together when people are trying to heal naturally. So it it has been, just like anything, like, and all of my clients can say the exact same thing. Like, women are busy. I don't care if you're a working woman, if you work outside the home, if you work in the home, if you are a retired grandma. wherever you are, whatever stage of life you're in, you likely can share that sentiment of like, it's busy, and hopefully in a really good way, right? Not hopefully you're not running yourself ragged,
Yeah.
but busy, whether you're sitting at your grandkids' ball games or running your kids to dance or whatever it is. So that's the season of life that I find myself in. I'm like full-time health coach over here and also part-time Uber driver for my kids. So I love that I get to do that all. And especially like now we're in summertime, my kids are home. I get
Yeah.
to be home with them, even if I'm on calls sometimes and getting to support my clients or meet with new potential clients, I still am here with them. They can always come in and, interrupt me. They have access to me. And I love that personally. So it's been a really great transition for us. Any transition, there's challenges, there's growth
Sure.
opportunities. So we've found those as well, and still I'll keep learning. I'll keep as I like, find my groove here. But it's honestly been a really, really good transition, both mentally and just, financially and for our family. So it's been really good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So obviously, Kim and Nick, who are kind of like the co-creators, partners for VIP. You were a client of the program. What would you say kind of like your initial expectations were with the business part of VIP?
You know what? I would probably say my initial expectations were this will probably be like 2 or 3 hours a week for me or that type of thing. And real quick, it was not. It was not this little part-time side hustle, because people need this and they want this and they want change, they want growth, they want to feel better. So really quick I learned that this is not a part-time gig over here that I'm doing. This is a full-time thing, and I want to pour more time and energy into it, and I want to help more people. So I think my initial expectations were kind of blown out of the water in a really good way, because I want to help as many people as possible. So I don't just want it to be a 2 or 3 hour a week thing on the side. So that's been really exciting, honestly, to just see, to be a resource for people, whether they choose to do the program or not, that I'm able to support people and, where they are on their own health journey. So it's been busy, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. My
Yeah,
initial expectation that isn't where I am,
got it.
and I'm
What do
grateful.
you,
Grateful.
do you have any specific goals that you set when you started, um, the VIP program, whether it was making a certain amount of money a month or whether it was helping a certain amount of people, do you have any goals that you initially kind of like started with?
Let me think back. I haven't been great at goal setting until recently, honestly. So I think when I came into VIP, it was a little bit of a wait and see approach. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know what's possible. I know that people need this. I know that there's tons of women out there that are exactly like me, right? That want to make these changes, and maybe they're doing it and they're trying to make impact positive change in their life and their body and their health, and they're just not getting the results that they want. And so I knew that there was absolute potential, but I don't know that I think that there was still just a uncertainty in myself of what I was capable of. So it's almost like I was refusing to even set goals. So I don't think I was great at that in the beginning.
Got it.
Um, Now I'm a little bit more aware, and
Right.
trying to set goals, and I love that, like, at each level you want to level up. I want to help more people, right? Every single story I hear, because it's never about the scale. Although it sounds like that when they come in to the program, it's not really about the scale. So every single story that I hear is so inspiring and motivating for me as a coach to want to help impact other people in that way. Because for every one person, there's dozens more that have a really similar story and want the same, to achieve the same things. So I want to help as many of them as possible. So I want to keep going to the next level in my business, because that then means I'm impacting that many more lives. And I
Sure.
love that.
What would you say, maybe one of the biggest challenges that you faced, um, since starting the program?
Um, I would say one of the biggest challenges for me is, and this isn't super common that I've experienced so far, but it's definitely one of the biggest challenges I've faced, is sometimes clients hit that wall where they go, I want out. I'm done. I can't do this. There's too much going on in my life. Something came up, or whatever the reason is. There's always some kind of, I don't really want to say excuse, because I think that there's also, sometimes it can be excuses and sometimes it can be valid, that there's reasons why you can't continue. But needing to try to coach them through that, because that's a very normal feeling. We can, oftentimes we feel that every week, after every weekend, right? Where you're like, well, I just blew it this weekend, so I'm out on Monday because I can't, it's not working. I'm
Right.
not seeing any progress. So every single day is a choice for that, whether you've had some trauma or something come up in your life or not. So that can be a challenge, coaching people through that if they feel like, I am absolutely done. And thankfully, that is very rare, and the few times that it's come up, there's only one that I haven't been able to coach through that. So
Yeah.
all of them have shown, most of them, all of them except for that one, have shown up with coachability, and they were able to keep going, and they're doing great. And thankfully they did stay in the program, because they are seeing the results, getting the results that they want, or they did get the results that they want. And that's super exciting. It's to be on that flip side and have them be like, I'm so grateful that Holly, talked me through that and worked through that with me. So that can be a challenge, but also it's kind of an exciting challenge, because I know that, now that I've experienced that with clients, I know that feeling. I've been there too. I've been a client too, so I
Right.
know that feeling of wanting to give up, and I know how to coach them through that. So I'm clearly getting better since that first
Yeah.
one
No. Okay.
I was not
So,
great at.
kind of what I'm hearing is, maybe your biggest obstacle in the beginning was like learning how to coach people through their breakthrough. And
Yeah.
now you kind of really feel like you are able to do that and do it with confidence.
Yeah, for sure. And you know
Uh,
what? There's been several clients who have legit experienced very traumatic things. They've experienced death, they've experienced major injuries, they've experienced major injuries with their children. And so there are legit reasons why, you might need to pause for a while and focus on this thing that's going on. So I just want to honor that too, and say not everything is an excuse. Okay. So,
Sure.
but what I love about even those experiences is that those women still showed up. So that might mean that they paused for a little bit, and then they're back in it, and they're still pursuing health and choosing themselves. And I think that's so incredibly inspiring, because they could have gone like, nope, now I'm in survival mode, maybe for the rest
Right.
of my life, because this thing happened to me, and they did not do that. And so that's incredible too.
I think the cool thing about, the VIP program is it's very adaptable for a client. So it's like it's not about being perfect. It's not about any of those things. It's like when
Yeah.
life's going to happen, right? Stressful things are going to come up, injuries, life, all that. And the cool thing is because of the way VIP is structured and built, someone can, be adaptable in that and still get really good results and have a great
Yeah.
experience. And so that's what's kind of cool. Talk to me a little bit about maybe an obstacle from a business standpoint that you maybe faced and then had some breakthrough on.
Well, um, this is all new for me.
Right.
I've been a stay-at-home mom for several years now. And this, teaching and coaching is not new for me. This is, I taught at the collegiate level for over 8 years. So I'm very familiar with teaching and leading, but the business, being a small business owner, I'm not familiar with that. This has always been like my husband's area of expertise.
Yeah.
So I'm very much learning in that area. And what I'm finding is that it's exciting, just like anything new, right? That can feel just like the program, honestly. It can feel overwhelming. It can feel like there's so much that you're learning, right? You're kind of feeling like this is piling on. I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to do this. But what I'm learning through the process of, I got to figure out taxes and LLC and, there's all these things that I've never had to do before and I need to figure it out. What I'm finding is that there is an excitement to it. There's an energy to it. And there's an empowerment that comes with that when you do push through and don't give up and keep learning and keep growing. There's a whole bunch of new tools in my arsenal now, right? Because I'm going through this process of being a brand new entrepreneur. And so it's been a learning curve for sure. It still is. I just met with my tax attorney this week and I'm just like, okay, tell me everything because I feel really clueless, and it's on the flip side of that call, I came out of it feeling very empowered and very excited for what's to come and for, getting to learn more and gain more skill throughout this process. So that's been awesome. And that's
Amazing.
exactly what my clients are doing too. So it's good for me to even learn from this experience, totally different, talking about the business side, but it's really similar to the journey that they're going through.
Yeah,
So
no, I love that.
it's good for me to feel that and be reminded of like it's new and you need to have patience with yourself and grace for yourself and keep going.
Yeah, no, that's good. What part of the program do you think has been the most impactful for your, business success so far? Or maybe like
Uh,
one or two parts of the program?
one or two parts of the program. Well, you know, for me personally, one of the things that one of my favorite things about the program is one of the things that my clients seem to also, it also resonates with them, which is no restrictions. Okay. You're not cutting out any food groups. We're not eliminating certain things that you love for a period of time and then reintroducing them. We
Right.
show clients how to do it in a very realistic way. Okay. Like we're in the middle of summertime right now and you've got s'mores and ice cream and barbecues and 4th of July. That isn't realistic to completely cut out food groups for your summertime
Sure.
and then reintroduce them in the fall and expect you to be able to maintain that lifestyle when you lived a totally different lifestyle over the summer, right? So that is something that, even from the very beginning, my clients very much appreciate this because they
Yeah.
don't have to say no to the events, the birthday parties, the girls' nights out, they get to both pursue real life and see positive change toward the goals that they're after, and they can go hand in hand. You don't have to
Yeah.
eliminate anything. So I
So
think that's been huge.
yeah, maybe talk about, so that's kind of the nutrition side, flexibility. Talk about maybe the business side. What's been the most impactful for your business success?
Okay. So business success, um, I just like lean more toward talking about client relationships, don't I? I would say honestly has been every single time that I show up on calls with you, with Nick and Kim, with Derek, um, e- every single time that I show up coachable, that's when I see the most growth.
Awesome.
Okay. So that's when I start showing up better for my clients when
Yeah.
I'm more coachable. So once again, I need to do the exact same things that they're doing. If I'm showing up with resistance, then that's gonna come through in the way that I coach. That's gonna come through in the way that I talk to people about the program when I show up coachable, knowing that I have so much to learn, knowing that there's tons of room for growth. Um, that's when that's when I start seeing breakthroughs in business. So that's the honest to God truth.
Nice. Well,
Not some
I think
cute
the
flattery.
biggest thing is, what's been the most impactful is coaching. And when you show
Yep.
up open, for coaching and feedback. And I think that's really powerful because a lot of people do get into programs and then it's crazy. It comes with coaching, but they don't take advantage of it. And then they're like, well, how come I'm not getting better results? And it's like, well,
Yep.
the very thing you want your clients doing to show up on your calls is like, hey, am I actually showing up and doing the same thing I expect my clients to do? And I think when we do that, then we show up as a better coach at the same time. And that kind of goes full circle of what you talked about initially in the beginning. And then it's like when I show up open and ready for coaching, my clients tend to show up in that same way and they get a
Yep.
better result. And I think that's really powerful. Can you talk to me a little bit about, I know we chatted a little bit prior to this, but like what you're on track to make this year and, just what that's been able to do as far as freedom. I know you love to travel and do some of those things with your family and kind of have experiences, but can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, like I said in the beginning, is that I didn't have tremendously solid goals in the beginning. I was just gonna wait and see what happens and what
Right.
I can do. I think I have been completely blown away by the possibility of growing this business and continuing to scale. And so I'm on track for my very first year to make I'm on track to make about 150 this year. And that I think my crazy goal I think was 100. I was like I'm going to shoot for that. I'll see what I can do, but if I don't get there, anything is better than nothing, right? Is
Yeah.
sort of what I was thinking. I'm not making anything right now. So having a career where I'm making anything would be phenomenal. But let's just shoot for 100. I think I'm hoping to blow even that 150 out of the water. Even though I'm saying that that's what I'm on track for as of now. But I'm
That's,
ready to
I
keep to
mean,
continue to grow too.
it's amazing to think, 7, 8 months ago, you didn't even really have a business, and so now it's like, look at your success now. And I think that's really cool. And not only that, but it also
Mhm.
represents people you're helping, lives being changed, families, being changed, which I think has a lot more weight than, what we make. But like, there's kind of there's an eternal wealth that comes with that, right? That you can actually know that you impacted somebody's life. But I think it's cool to know that you went from not being a business owner to basically developing the skills of marketing, sales, coaching, all these things just in the last like 8, 9 months. And you have a successful business and you're a successful mom and you have an amazing marriage. And I think the other cool thing about all of this is you have a very supportive husband, which is really cool too. And I think it's cool how you guys work together synergistically. And
Mhm.
I think that kind of helps you be successful. And so I just want to acknowledge that because I think sometimes we don't look at the whole picture. But I think it's cool that you've been able to do all of that and have a supportive family and, you know, marriage and all that. And I think that's something today that really goes unnoticed, and behind the
Yeah.
scenes, you see that. I kind of want to ask like one or two things and then we'll jump off. But what has been maybe the most unexpected result you've gotten in the program, business side, or, just kind of thinking of it that way?
Um, Unexpected results, and you want it on the business side. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like what's been an unexpected result for you being in the VIP program, like from a business standpoint? Yeah.
Okay. Um, I mean, that in and of itself is an unexpected result of being, going from making $0 for many years to now being, over a six-figure income uh, businesswoman is completely unexpected, you
Awesome.
know? And so I think that is huge for me right there, not just from a financial perspective, but from the contribution perspective of getting to, this business completely uses my master's degree, my master's degree, which is advertising, my bachelor's degree, which is psychology. This is, I'm talking human motivation all day, every day, right? And so getting to partner like my educational background and my teaching background with what I'm doing now has been, I think it's just been really good for me mentally
Yeah.
to
Well, you're
feel like
really
I'm contributing.
utilizing your God-given gifts,
Yeah.
not just, yes,
Yeah.
they're your college degrees, but I think the bigger thing is you're using your God-given talents and gifts to help other people.
Yeah.
And I think that shows in the income and the impact you make.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate that. Those are really generous words and I appreciate that. But yeah, that's been amazing. And just the connection. I'm that is one of the things, I'm really skilled at connecting people. I love that. I love being able to bring people together and to be able to empower people. And that's what I get to do every single day. So to do that, I did that anyway, right? For
yeah,
free for years. Like I still was a connector even when I didn't have a job and wasn't
yeah,
doing something like that. But now I get to do that and help to contribute to my family financially. Um,
that's
that's
amazing.
really rewarding, and I think that it's something to be celebrated. That oftentimes women don't celebrate. We don't want to talk about that, but we can make a positive impact in people's lives, help support them, help serve them in the ways that they need, and make money from that. And I'm really honored to get to do what I do, honestly, and connect with people on a deep level and get to see the fruits of their labor and the work that they're doing. So
That's
it's been
amazing.
amazing.
Well, hey, I do want to acknowledge your time. I know you got to get going, but I want to thank you for being on the show today. And then I also just want to thank you for, you know, being coachable and showing up and just seeing the progress, I've seen with you and the changes you made. And you're right. You went from like zero to success, and not only that, but you're having major success, especially, with it's not an easy thing to become an entrepreneur in like 8 9 months and
Yeah.
and then have success, but not only that, have a lot of success, and not only that, but just be fulfilled in that and be able to help people. So thank you so much for being a part of the VIP weight loss system. We love having you in there. Can't wait to see what you do next. If you guys want to find out more about the VIP weight loss system, go ahead and just go into the show notes, click the link below. If you have any questions, or you see this on YouTube or inside of Facebook, go ahead and just comment VIP. We'll reach out to you and see if VIP is a fit for you. Until next episode, have a great day.
Thanks, Jesse.